Good evening. Welcome to the National News broadcast coming to you live from the National News studio here at Rupavahini. I'm Kasini Balchandra. Joining me is Niket Karnaratna. Here's your headlines for tonight. A discussion between the President and the IMF representatives. The Minister of Agriculture says a program is underway to make Sri Lanka self-sufficient in rice. A fuel and kerosene oil subsidy for the fishing community. Instructions given to district secretaries to promote food production on the rural level. The Ukraine leader determines to recapture all territories taken over by Russia. We move on to those and other stories in detail. And in your top local story tonight, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has presided over a preliminary round discussion with the International Monetary Fund today, with the objective of finding a solution to the financial crisis faced by Sri Lanka. The present condition of the Sri Lankan crisis has come under discussion at the President's office. A further round of talks is scheduled to be conducted on the 26th of this month. It has also been decided to have more discussions with the central bank officials on technical level issues. The meeting was attended by head of the IMF delegation Peter Bruber, Deputy Head Oseiro Kosaiko, Permanent Sri Lankan Representative of IMF Tubagans, Chief of the Presidential Staff and Senior Presidential Advisor on National Security Sagala Ratnayaka, President Secretary Samaneka Nayaka and Governor of the Central Bank Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe.
Minister Mahinda Amaraveera says a program has commenced to make Sri Lanka self-sufficient in rice, with the paddy harvesting in the Maha season. Opinions in this regard have been expressed at a media briefing at the Department of Government Information today. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera said that fertilizer, fuel and chemicals needed by the farmer are being given in time and in a convenient manner. In addition, a fair price is being given to the produce. It would become possible to enhance the extent of paddy cultivations more than twofold in the Yala season. Accordingly, the current extent of cultivable fields is to be increased to 512,000 hectares from 240,000 hectares. The minister further said that the country will be able to prevent a rice shortage. The country does not need imports. The Maha season harvest is expected by February next year. Minister Amaraveera also said that fertilizer was duly handed over to farmers in the Yala season. Provision of urea fertilizer for the Maha season has commenced. The highest paddy yield of 70% has been reported from lands cultivated with the combination methodology of the application of chemical and organic fertilizers. The minister further said that the fertilizer for the Maha season will be provided in the sense of transparency through the funds allocated by the World Bank program. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera said that the World Bank program is providing funds for the fertilizer supplies for the Maha season. Tender procedures are being prepared by the World Bank representatives. All the activities are being conducted in an open manner and there is a possibility on the occurrence of some delays. The minister added that the Asian Development Bank and the World Food Programme will assist Sri Lanka to receive additional stocks of fertilizer. Chairman of the Paddy Marketing Board, Neil Dialvis, says all facilities have been provided to the farmers to sell their paddy harvest to the PMB at a higher price. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera said that our farmers are now preparing to cultivate 110,000 of acres with maize. Such measures would enable to resolve the problem of animal feed shortages. The minister further said that Sri Lanka would be able to gain self-sufficiency in maize after 2 seasons. The minister said that the country would be made self-sufficient in maize.
The attendance of government employees for office duties has become as usual with effect from today. Due to the fuel shortage, convening of state employees for duties has been restricted with effect from the 20th of June this year. The Ministry of Finance, Economic Stabilization and National Policies has informed that government employees must report to duties in all 5 working days of the week from today. The relevant circular was released yesterday. The Ministry of Power and Energy says unloading of a shipload of 30,000 metric tons of super diesel is now being conducted. A Twitter message of Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara says the ship carrying diesel has reached the Colombo port last night. Another ship carrying auto diesel is also scheduled to arrive in the country either tomorrow or the day after. The minister's message also says another shipload of octane 92 petrol is scheduled to reach the harbour during the period from the 27th to the 29th of this month. The Ministry of Power and Energy says releasing of craft which brought kerosene oil and jet fuel has commenced on the 22nd.
A discussion pertaining to the problems confronted by the fishing community was held in the Ministry of Fisheries yesterday. Minister Douglas Devananda has presided over the meeting. Special attention has been focused on this occasion over the problematic situation created as a result of the increases in the prices of fuel, including kerosene oil. The minister has taken measures to enlighten the President on the issues that have come under discussion. Minister Douglas Devananda said on this occasion that the attention of President Ranil Wickremesinghe has been focused on the provision of a fuel and kerosene oil subsidy to the fishermen. The meeting was attended by a group including officials of the Ministry of Fisheries.
Importation of 305 commodity items have been temporarily suspended. A communique issued by the Media Ministry says the decision has been taken according to the orders of President Ranil Wickremesinghe in the capacity of Minister of Finance. The orders have become effective since yesterday under the Import-Export Control Act. The items included food, garments and domestic equipment. If the orders for shipments were made by yesterday and if they reach the island before the 14th of next month, the Ministry of Finance has granted permission for the importation of such items. However, items of re-export are permitted for importation under the approval of the Controller of Immigration and Emigration. President of the All Ceylon Poultry Entrepreneurs Association, Ajit Gunasekara says egg prices in the market would continue to decline.
පනහකට වගේ වුණොත් ඒ පාඩුව දෙගොල්ලටම දරා ගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඒ 50 වගේ මීලකට පාරිභෝගිකයලා යනකොට ඊළඟ සතිය වෙනකොට තවදුරටත් මේක වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඒ තත්ත්වයට එනවා නම් මම හිතන්නේ රජය මම හිතන්නේ උත්සාහයක් දරයි නිෂ්පාදකයත් ආරක්ෂා කරන්න පාරිභෝගිකයත් ආරක්ෂා කරන්න නැවත මිල ගණනය කිරීම කරලා මේකට විසඳුමක්.
A meeting between Japanese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Mizukoshi Hideaki, and President Ranil Wickremesinghe has taken place at the President's office today. At the commencement of the meeting, the Japanese envoy has extended the best wishes of Japanese Emperor Hironomiya Naruhito to the Sri Lankan President. Thereafter, the President was engaged in a cordial conversation with the ambassador. A special program to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the historic address of former President J.R. Jayawardena at the San Francisco Peace Conference falls on the 6th of next month. The meeting has also dealt on this issue. The commemoration program is being organized by the Japanese Embassy in collaboration with the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. Measures have been taken to increase the food crop production through the setting up of food security committees on the village level within the next 100 days.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena has instructed all district secretaries to implement the program through the amalgamation of the administration and development process. The Prime Minister has given instructions at a conference of district secretaries at the Ministry of Home Affairs. He added that the IMF and the World Bank are extending aid to Sri Lanka and that if the aid distribution program is to be successful, planning has to be made from rural level upwards. The Prime Minister said that he, as the subject minister, focused special attention for the pensioners in the state service. The district secretaries have been enlightened on the speedy preparation of a data network to identify persons eligible to receive relief by the Welfare Board. Minister Nalin Fernando, Prime Minister's Secretary Andra Dissanayake, Secretary to the Ministry of Public Administration, Home Affairs and Provincial Councils, MMP K. Mayadona, have also attended the meeting. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that Sri Lanka is receiving international support to eliminate its poverty. The World Bank and the IMF are providing assistance in this regard. The Prime Minister also said that the President will declare a program on how a new project to be implemented on regional level in this connection.
ප්‍රාදේශීය මට්ටමේ ගම් මට්ටමේ අලුත් වැඩපිළිවෙලකට ගමන් කරන්න ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඉදිරි දවස්වල ප්‍රකාශයට පත් කරයි.
The Prime Minister has presided over a ceremony to hand over prizes to the winners of the essay competition of the Official Languages Week, jointly conducted by the Official Languages Commission and the National Languages Equality and Promotional Project. The event took place in the Water's Edge Hotel premises.
The first death anniversary of former Minister Mangala Samaravira, who had introduced a radical concept to Sri Lankan politics, falls today. He has presented Parliament for over 3 decades. This is a brief report on this revolutionary character in local politics. Mangala Samaravira had commenced politics by contesting for the Mathura district under the Sri Lanka Freedom Party in the general election of 1989. He had been representing Parliament since then until 2020. It was he who brought the local election campaign to a new dimension by introducing a novel propaganda strategy that paved the way for the striking election victory in 1994. Mangala Samaravira held responsibilities in several ministerial portfolios, including mass media, urban development, ports and civil aviation, finance and foreign affairs. He had attempted to create significant changes in every ministry he took charge. He was instrumental in the implementation of reconciliation programs such as Suduneluma and Thavalama under the leadership of President Chandrika Bandaranayake. He had acted to eliminate the differences between ethnic groups prevailing over many decades. Mangala Samaravira has rendered immense contribution for the creation of the United People's Freedom Alliance in 2004. In this regard, he had to exert much effort to ward off the discrepancies between the SLFP and the Janata Vimukti Peramuna that existed for a long period. When Mahinda Rajapaksa received partial support of the SLFP in 2005, Samaravira had shouldered the responsibility of securing presidential election victory through the creation of the election steering committees. However, he was deprived of receiving the benefits of the political campaign he himself had created in the year 2007. However, he did not hesitate to devise a new platform with a different political culture for the people of the country. Mangala Samaravira had also extended massive support for the election campaign to make Maithripala Sirisena the president of the country in 2015. He held several responsible ministerial positions in the government of good governance that was elected subsequently. He had inherited a new media culture for Sri Lankan politics. He had become a news creator for social media. His main target had been not only the development in his district, but the progress and well-being of the entire country. Mangala Samaravira is considered as a heroic character who had allowed thousands of youth to look at society in an open mind at a time when the country was engulfed by a reign of terror for many years. He held the title of the Maker of Kings. His entire political life was an extreme effort to make tomorrow of the nation more beautiful. Mangala Samaravira always held youthful concepts in politics. He was a man who used political intellect for a social and economic change and therefore enters history as an efficient people's representative. Physicians say that the COVID threat has not been eliminated by any means.
Director of the Infectious Diseases Unit, Specialist Dr. Samitha Genige says 152 to 200 COVID patients are being reported daily and also daily occurrence of around 3 to 4 COVID-related deaths. The physician reiterates that all citizens must get themselves vaccinated in order to overcome the threatening situation. Director of the Infectious Diseases Unit, Specialist Dr. Samita Ginige, says that most of the COVID victims are above the age of 60 years or those suffering from inherent diseases. The daily victims include at least several unvaccinated persons. Some people are reluctant to get themselves inoculated even when the vaccines are being offered free of charge. Some have taken only the first 2 doses. Most of the COVID-related deaths are being reported from this group. The subtype of the Omicron variety is spreading fast. If adequate precautions are not taken, the disease may once again engulf the country.
Minister of Health Keheliya Rambukwalla says that the period of the procurement process for the purchasing of medicine, which was in between 9 and 11 months, has been reduced to 3 or 4 months. In a discussion with a group of representatives of the UNICEF organization today, the minister further said that the shortage of drugs prevailed in the country is now gradually reducing. A group of residential representatives of the UNICEF organization, including Regional Director George Lay, was engaged in a discussion with the minister at the Ministry of Health. Presentation of a stock of medicine comprising of vitamins, minerals and other necessary micronutrients required for the growth of children between the ages of 6 months and 5 years has also taken place on this occasion. The value of the contribution is $813,200. The items were packed in nearly 400,000 containers. Minister Keheliya Rambukwalla also said there is a shortage of around 100 medicines of 384 essential types of drugs and that measures are underway to speedily fill the shortfall. Regional Director of the UNICEF, George Lay, has stated that they appreciate the efforts being undertaken by Sri Lanka to come out of the crisis. He added that the UNICEF is focusing stern attention to prevent the occurrence of any nutritional deficiencies that may arise due to the food crisis following the resolution of the economic crisis. Director General of Health Services Dr. Asela Gunawardena and a group of officials were also present at the discussion. The second edition of the Jatika Madhya Sankatana literary work has been unveiled by the Mass Media Research Division of the Department of Government Information.
The aim of the publication is to create a quality mass media culture and an intellectual group of people. The first copy of the book was handed over to Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena by the Chief Editor Professor Sri Ranjan at the auditorium of the Ministry of Mass Media. Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media Anusha Palpita, Director General of Government Information Mohan Samaranayaka, editors of the publication Professors Theodore Veerasinghe, Kamal Valabuda and senior lecturers Aruna Lokuliana, Kalyani Vijayasundara and attorney at law Kalani Irosha Dharmasiri were also present on the occasion. A discussion between Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena and heads of media institutions have been conducted yesterday over the financial situation and functioning of the relevant institutions.
UNP parliamentarian Vajira Abeyewardene says that legal action has to be taken expeditiously against those who call Sri Lanka a bankrupt state. Addressing a media briefing in Colombo today, UNP parliamentarian Vajira Abeyewardene said that a parliamentary select committee will be appointed to investigate those who call Sri Lanka bankrupt. Parliamentarian Vajira Abeyewardene has also made a clarification regarding the future state of the government service. UNP parliamentarian Vajira Abeyewardene said that workers should not be discriminated whether they are in public service or the private sector. Decisions have to be taken in the interest of the country. Therefore, those who voluntarily engaged in foreign employment should be accorded the opportunity to join the private sector upon return to the motherland. That's all with local news. Stay tuned for foreign news after this short break. Welcome back. And now with foreign news. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has told Ukrainians in a speech to mark 31 years of independence that Ukraine was reborn when Russia started its attacks on February 24th and would recapture annexed Crimea and occupied areas in the east. In the recorded speech aired today, which marks the 6-month anniversary of Russia's offensive, Zelensky said that Ukraine no longer saw the war ending when there was peace, but when Kiev was actually victorious. He said a new nation appeared in the world on February 24th at 4 in the morning. It was not born but reborn. A nation that did not cry, scream or take fright. One that did not flee, did not give up and did not forget, he said. We don't care what army you have, we only care about our land. We will fight for it until the end, Zelensky said. We have been holding strong for 6 months. It's tough, but we have clenched our fists and we are fighting for our destiny, he added. The 44-year-old wartime leader delivered the speech in his trademark combat fatigues in front of Kiev's central monument to independence from the Russian-controlled Soviet Union.
Terima kasih, Pantan.
Taking a look at your sports news tonight, the Sri Lankan team participating in the Asian Cup cricket tournament has left the island this afternoon. The tournament will commence in the United Arab Emirates on the 27th of this month.
The Sri Lankan team, prior to departure, posed for an official photograph at the Sri Lankan cricket. The team is consisted of 17 players. Dasun Shanaka is the captain and Charit Asalanka is the vice-captain. The Sri Lankan team will compete under the B category in the tournament. The other countries in this group are Bangladesh and Afghanistan. Sri Lanka's maiden fixture in the tournament will be against Afghanistan on the 27th. The match between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh will take place on the 1st of next month. The round of matches of the 4 super teams of the tournament will get underway on the 3rd of next month. The finals will be held in Dubai on the 11th. Sri Lanka has clinched the Asia Cup cricket tournament trophy on 5 occasions. That was in 1986, 97, 2004, 2008 and 2012. India won the Asia Cricket Cup trophy in the last tournament held in 2018.
Terima kasih, Pantan.
And with that, we conclude tonight's English news on Rupavahini. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.